समुद्र की गहराइयों में छिपे ऊर्जा भंडार की तलाश के लिए भारत ने एक बड़ी रणनीतिक पहल शुरू की है। नाम है समुद्र मंथन योजना। ये सिर्फ तेल और गैस खोजने की योजना नहीं, बल्कि भारत की ऊर्जा सुरक्षा और आत्मनिर्भरता की दिशा में एक बड़ा कदम है। भारत अपनी ऊर्जा जरूरतों के लिए बड़े पैमाने पर कच्चे तेल का आयात करता है। ऐसे में समुद्र के भीतर मौजूद संभावित तेल और प्राकृतिक गैस भंडारों की खोज देश की आयात निर्भरता कम करने में मदद कर सकती है। समुद्र मंथन योजना का महत्व सिर्फ ऊर्जा तक सीमित नहीं है। इससे अत्याधुनिक तकनीक का विकास होगा, घरेलू उद्योगों को बढ़ावा मिलेगा और समुद्री क्षेत्र में रोजगार के नए अवसर पैदा होंगे। भारत के लिए ये ब्लू इकोनॉमी को मजबूत करने की दिशा में बेहद अहम पहल है। यानी आने वाले समय में भारत की ऊर्जा जरूरतों का एक बड़ा हिस्सा जमीन के नीचे नहीं, बल्कि समुद्र की गहराइयों में खोजा जा सकता है। कंटेंट क्रिएटर कल्याण कारिणी पांडे बता रही हैं, भारत सरकार की समुद्र मंथन योजना किस तरह देश की ऊर्जा सुरक्षा को मजबूत करने और आत्मनिर्भर भारत के संकल्प को आगे बढ़ाने की दिशा में एक महत्वपूर्ण पहल है।
Imagine this, thousands of meters below the surface of the sea, there could be huge resources of oil and natural gas waiting to be discovered. And if India can successfully find and use these resources, it could help meet the country's energy need for years to come. So, the question is India ready to explore what lies beneath its sea? The answer is Samudra Manthan, the National Offshore Exploration Scheme. The name may remind you of the ancient story of churning of the ocean. But this time, the churning is about something very, very real. Finding energy resources beneath the sea and strengthening India's energy security. The government has allocated Rs 84,084 crore for phase 1 of the scheme up to financial year 2030 to 2031. The aim is to unlock India's offshore hydrocarbon potential and add more than 600 mmtoe of hydrocarbon reserves, subject to exploration success. Why does India need this? Now, why does India need to look for more oil and natural gas? The answer is simple. India is growing rapidly, and as the economy grows, the demand for the energy also grows. We need energy for our homes, farms, factories, transport, and industry. But a significant part of India's crude oil and natural gas requirement comes from import. That means a huge amount of money goes out of the country to buy energy from abroad. India is world's third largest consumer of crude oil, and its annual crude oil import bill is nearly $144 billion, around 13 lakh crore. So, increasing domestic production is important. The more energy we can produce within the country, the more we can potentially reduce our dependence on import and save valuable foreign exchange. The big opportunity under the sea. And this is where India's sea became important. A large part of India's future oil and gas potential could be offshore under the seabed. India's eastern and western offshore basin extend to water depth of up to 3,000 meters, and these areas are estimated to hold more than 5,600 mmtoe of hydrocarbon potential. Recent discoveries in the Kaveri, Mahanadi, and Andaman basins have made this opportunity even more promising. But there is a catch. Exploring deep water areas is extremely difficult and expensive. A single deep water exploratory well can cost around 125 to 150 million US dollar. And it is not a quick process. From getting an exploration block to starting commercial production can take around 5 to 10 years. So the investment is huge, the risk is high, and the result can take years. So what will Samudra Manthan do? This is where Samudra Manthan comes in. The scheme is designed to reduce the risk involved in offshore exploration and encourage sustained investment. And it focuses on 4 major areas. First, better seismic data. Let's understand this in simple terms. Scientists need to know what is beneath the seabed before they start drilling. Seismic survey use sound waves to map the layers of rocks beneath the sea. This helps experts identify areas where oil and gas could potentially be present. Under the scheme, large-scale 2D and 3D seismic survey will be carried out. The government has allocated Rs 28,534 crore for this component. Modern technology and artificial intelligence will also be used to process and interpret this data faster. Second, accelerating deep water exploration. The scheme will support the drilling of 60 deep water and ultra deep water wells. For this, Rs 43,200 crore has been allocated. The government will provide financial support covering up to 50% of eligible drilling cost of Rs 6,705 crore per well, whichever is lower. And this support is open to both public and private exploration and production companies. The idea is simple. Share some of the risk so that more exploration can happen. Third, common offshore infrastructure. Finding oil or gas is only one part of the story. You also need infrastructure to bring it out and transport it. In some cases, discoveries remain underdeveloped because the infrastructure needed is too expensive. Samudra Manthan will therefore support shared production and evacuation facilities in selected basins. For this, Rs 10,000 crore has been allocated. The goal is to make projects more viable and turn discoveries into actual production. Fourth, boosting Indian manufacturing and services. The scheme is not just about finding oil and gases. It is also about building the ecosystem around it. An integrated oil and gas manufacturing and services zone will be established. It will support manufacturing, repair, warehousing, engineering, and other services. The government has allocated Rs 2,000 crore for this. In simple terms, the aim is to make more of the equipment and services needed for offshore exploration available within India. That means stronger domestic capability and a push toward Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat. Now comes the most important question. What could all of this mean for India? First, more reserves. If exploration succeeds, the scheme is expected to add more than 600 mmTOE of hydrocarbon reserves. Second, higher domestic production. Annual domestic production is targeted to increase from around 62 mmTOE to 80 mmTOE. Third, a lower import bill. The additional production could potentially reduce crude oil import by nearly Rs 1 lakh crore every year. That means significant foreign exchange savings. And fourth, jobs and investment. Large-scale employment opportunities are expected across exploration, production, engineering, and related sectors. At the same time, stronger domestic manufacturing could help build India's capability in offshore technology and services. The journey did not start today, but there is something important to understand. Samudra Manthan is not an isolated step. Over the last few years, India has introduced several reforms to make hydrocarbon exploration more open, transparent, and investor-friendly. More than 99% of the earlier no-go offshore areas have been opened for exploration, and more than 1 million square kilometers of India's exclusive economic zone is now available for exploration. The impact can already be seen. During financial year 2025-26, around 674 wells were drilled. 5 new discoveries were made and 7 discoveries were monetized. The Mahanadi moment. And now another important chapter has begun. On 25 July 2026, drilling of the first appraisal well began in the Mahanadi offshore basin. An appraisal well helps experts understand the quality and commercial potential of a hydrocarbon discovery in greater detail. This is the first of 4 planned deep water wells in the basins. It marks the beginning of a major deep water exploration campaign. So, what is Samudra Manthan really about? It is not simply about searching for oil and gas under the sea. It is about bringing together data, technology, investment, infrastructure, and Indian manufacturing under one mission. Because energy security is not just about meeting today's need, it is about preparing for tomorrow. If this exploration succeeds as expected, the impact could go far beyond offshore platforms. It could mean stronger energy security, lower import dependence, more investment, more manufacturing, and new employment opportunity. So the message behind Samudra Manthan is simple. India is looking beneath the waves today to build a more secure and self-reliant energy future tomorrow.